All right. So the article I found is titled What Every Social Studies Teacher Should Know About Simulations. It's very interesting and it goes into some real detail about what a simulation is, as you see. Um, but early on here, what I really like is it says when evaluating an activity that claims to be simulation, there are several questions you can ask to help determine the answer. So then it gives us a lot of questions we can ask to see if what we believe is a simulation we're doing in the classroom is actually an effective simulation for the students. So, does this activity represent a real life process, event, or phenomenon? Do the actions of my students have the chance to alter the conclusion of the activity? Are my students actively involved in this activity or are they passive observers? Am I able to use this activity to teach something specific and meaningful about the phenomenon or process it is meant to represent? And I find that those having a list of questions is actually going to make it very easy for me as I'm planning a simulation. I can kind of just go through the checklist and be like, check, check. Um, Another thing I found very interesting is around page 5 here. It has table 1 and it lists a whole lot of sources, their sources findings on simulations in the classroom and whether that's an affordance or a challenge with simulations. So early on, simulations are very time consuming. That's obviously a challenge. Simulations are no more effective than other approaches to learning related to the accumulation of factual knowledge, but it requires more time. Um, what else is that listed here? Another challenge using simulation without sufficient background content and process knowledge can leave students floundering. But then we get to the affordances. So they can lead to better content retention over time. Simulations can lead to significant gains in understanding. Uh, Simulations appear to reduce rather than exacerbate discipline problems, and they can foster sorry, recognition, empathy, and care for others. So overall, everything has its challenges, everything has its pros and its cons. And I believe that simulations, we're looking at this list, are more pros than cons, based on my preferred teaching style. Finally, over on page 9, it's in the summary tab. It says, most importantly, simulations provide students with engaging and memorable circumstances that enable them to think critically, act, and react to dynamic circumstances. So I would say, as someone who is going to be teaching social studies, I would highly recommend reading this article if you plan to use simulations in the classroom.